Let me give y'all the update on Tory Lanez.
All right, rapper Tory Lanez will be sentenced this morning for his role in a 2020 shooting that injured rapper Megan Thee Stallion. Lanez was convicted on 3 felony counts in December and has since remained behind bars. Joining us now is federal trial and civil attorney Robin Nunn. Robin, great to see you. So let's talk about this. The prosecution, as you know, is looking for 13 years. The maximum sentence is around 22 years. What goes into the judge's decision-making process when trying to figure out the best sentence?
Well, hi, Vlad. Hey, Anne-Marie. It's great to be here. Good morning. I think a lot is going to go through the minds of the judge in the sentencing process. Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Hereford has faced a number of pleas from the defense behind the scenes regarding the fact that they think that he might have a conflict of interest and maybe unfairly prejudiced against Tory Lanez. So they've been seeking to have him removed on this case in general. Nonetheless, there's going to be no new trial over the 2020 shooting of rapper Megan Thee Stallion, and they're moving forward with sentencing. The prosecution has asked for a maximum of 22 years and 8 months, and the government has actually come in, seeking only 13 years. I think that the judge is going to have to weigh heavily the trial and what the jury found. There were a jury of 7 women and 5 men who deliberated for 7 hours over 2 days before convicting Lanez on the December 23rd assault with a firearm, unlawful discharge. I mean, she was shot 5 times, and that's something that could have easily taken her life. So I think the judge is going to have to process a lot of things, and particularly make a tough call here on what the right amount of time is.
So the prosecution says that Tory Lanez and rapper DaBaby attempted to rush the stage during a Megan Thee Stallion performance. They were all it was a big show. There were a bunch of different performers. But Tory Lanez came on stage with DaBaby and performed. And then there's some evidence indicating that they had tried to rush the stage when Megan Thee Stallion was performing. What role could Lanez's behavior after the incident play in deciding today's sentence?
Yeah, as it was widely reported, Megan Thee Stallion received a protective order against Lanez, and he was ordered to stay at least 100 yards away from her. Megan Thee Stallion was obviously doing a performance in 2021. That protective order was in place. Lanez knew about that protective order. And despite that order, there is alleged evidence that points to Lanez and DaBaby trying to get near her and come on stage while she was performing. That was prevented, but there were some social media tweets and reactions where supposedly Mr. Lanez said that he didn't care about the protective order. The judge is going to take into effect Mr. Lanez's behavior and whether or not he showed the proper amounts of remorse and was complying with the law from the court's perspective. So this is not something that's good for Mr. Lanez as he's beginning to face sentencing here.
And as you know, Lanez has been behind bars since December. Could time served play a factor?
I mean, that is true. Mr. Lanez has been behind bars. He was taken into custody after the verdict on December 23rd. However, he's facing 22 years and 8 months. 6 months doesn't quite weigh out when you're looking at 22 years. I think that time could, be reflected that 6 months or so. But I think that he's facing potentially a lot of time still ahead of him.
Many CBS News watchers would have seen Gayle King's interview with Megan Thee Stallion. It was very moving, and she's really taken a lot of criticism because she initially said that she didn't want to snitch, and she initially said that she wasn't shot, that she had stepped on glass. Robin, I'm wondering, I don't know whether or not Megan Thee Stallion is going to be speaking today, if this is the kind of thing that she would be at, but what sort of weight would if she has a victim impact statement, what sort of weight would it carry?
I mean, I think that it matters a lot. I mean, obviously this became bigger than just an incident after the Kardashians, Kylie Jenner's house party. This turned into something else. This turned into a movement. I mean, there was a lot of calls to protect Black women after the shooting, because so many people accused Megan Thee Stallion of lying, despite all of the evidence and tweets and texts and witnesses to the opposite of that. So I do think that this has become quite bigger than just a sort of domestic violence situation between two former lovers. This is now something where I think people's credibility and integrity were called into question, and a lot of the cultural norms around snitching and other things have really come into play. So I wouldn't be surprised if Megan Thee Stallion said something today. I'm also wouldn't be surprised if she just decided that the conviction speaks for itself.
Right.
She's clearly on Megan's side. Clearly on Megan's side. Like, damn, shorty, you just clearly on Megan's side. Well, we'll see what happened, man. It's been a court week. But